I greet you for all my country, Colombia. My name is Diana Barreto. It's an honor for me to participate in this Congress.
The purpose of my presentation is to think about the possibility to change the paradigm from anthropocentrism to biocentrism. In our Western history, we have had epistemological conceptions such as theocentrism and anthropocentrism. These conceptions have influenced our vision in different disciplines such as philosophy, law, political science, economics, and others. In turn, it has had an influence of the relationship of human beings with nature and other livings, and other beings living like animals. The belief that man is superior to nature or has the right to exploit it and abuse it has unfortunate consequences for the environment and for the other living beings. The human being consumes the planet's resources if there were not tomorrow. Problems like deforestation, exploitations, and extinctions of animal species, plants, and ecosystems, and of course climate change and other consequences are due to the development of a vision that is reflected in the selfish action and economic ambition of power that benefits some people and some economic groups, but not all human beings and not all nature. According to the U.S. Academy of Science, over the past 25 years, sea levels have risen twice as high as expected. Changes in rainfall levels can put a risk in the amount of drinking water available in the world. Climate change generated extreme weather events such as hurricanes and heavy rains. The global temperature increased considerable by 1°C between 1880 and 2015. According to a study by the University of British Columbia in Canada, one-third of the marine species are at the risk from climate change. It is estimated that 20% of the global greenhouse gas emissions come from forest loss. And according to World Wildlife Fund, WWF, revealed that if the Earth's temperature increased by 4 degrees Celsius compared to the pre-industrial era, 48% of the animal species could disappear in some areas in the world. Among the most affected will be the polar bear, the koala, and the beluga whale, due to the loss of their habitats. These figures should be this situation should be make us reflect of our way of thinking. Anthropocentrism has it ethical to defend the idea that human being it is superior to everything else and therefore has a higher moral consideration to the other living beings of the planet. For its part, biocentrism arise the abode of the interest of the other species. For its part, biocentrism arise from the 70s of the last century, and the work become from the Greek origin. Bios, it means life, and centrism is the center of everything. The biocentrism considers that every living being deserves moral respect. It seeks to vindicate the value of all types of life. It purposes that all living beings have been the same right to exist, to develop, and to express themselves autonomously, and deserved respect for having a value in themselves. It seems that human activity causes the least possible impact of the other species and on the same planet Earth. Although there are those who go to the extreme by declaiming that even virus will have rights, which is something irrational. But what we really must seek, however, is the balance in the relationship between men, animals, and the whole nature. At this moment, humanity has to face a global pandemic due to the coronavirus. This is a warning for the nature and should make us reflect on man's relationship with the environment. It is necessary for the human being to change these relations to the benefit of life. In addition, in this context of the pandemic, it can be evidence that many animals were left homeless or abandoned, as well the consumption of the wild species or to eat wild species can be a cause of the COVID-19 virus due to the zoonosis. Action must be taken to reverse the damage done to the planet. These changes must be with policies in favor to respect the nature and change divisions in economic systems. It is true that many countries follow the capitalisms. I think we must rethink or reflect on how to approach the capitalist system to protect the nature. We have to think more that capitalism to the focus to protect the nature, animals, and human beings. It is a situation of human beings in situation of extreme poverty. I know this is a difficult proposal, but this is the start, or this is the moment from the academy, from students and teachers with new proposals. It should be seen as an opportunity to change history. As citizens, we also played an important role in generating change in favor of life. We can demand that politicians make legislations in favor of our environment. Policies that protect the animals, the protection of the animals and nature. And it is not easy talk, but is not impossible either. For many people, the things are normal. These exploitations, this climate change is normal. But other part of the people in the planet thinks that we must change our think and the relations that we have with the planet, more economics and politicians. However, it's essential to change these visions, not only for the good of nature and animals, but for very future of the humanity that can also suffer the consequences for its own survival. The legal, economic, political, social, and environmental visions must be rethought. If we talk about the civil and politicians, the constitutions of several countries have been created in anthropocentrism context due to the historical moment in which they developed because they had limits and searched to abolish monarchical absolutism and created states that guarantee fundamental civil and political rights like equality, freedom, and citizenship. Over the years, these fundamental rights were granted to women, all races, and minority groups. These struggles for recognition and respect for the rights continues today, and these are different causes, such as the right to decent education, protection of the environment, and the other living, not human beings. Thinking today about the rights for animals and nature should be not be an exclusive privilege of the human being, because we are in a situation we were must improve conditions of the survival as a species depends of the decisions we make today. The rights of the other livings and natures maybe not is not easy. It's not easy to think. It's not easy to create it. But we have to start thinking. Not maybe not as civil or political rights, but rights like protections or the right to life. Authors such as Donaldson and Kinlicka, in their book Zoopolis, made a proposal for the theory of animal rights, including a proposal for citizenship for animals. Layton, in Animals Bioethics, studies that the reflect of the current state of global bioethics to overcome anthropocentrism trends. Martha Nussbaum, in their work of the Frontiers of Justice, expose ethical theories of the scope of justice beyond the nation state, duties to non-human animals, and her contractualism inspired thesis of the moral status of animals, which she calls the theory of approach of capabilities, considers that non-human animals are also subjects of rights. Steiner, in Animals and the Moral Community, describes how Western philosophic tradition has forced two animals into categories in order to make sense of their cognitive abilities and moral status, but new approaches to animal rights are needed. It rejects the traditional assumption that lack of formal rationality confers a lower moral status of animal compared to the humans. In many countries of the world, are making difference or are making legislations to protect animals and nature. In 2016, for example, in Argentina, a ruling declared the chimpanzee named Cecilia to be a subject of rights in order to be transferred from a zoo to a sanctuary. In Ecuador, in its constitutions include rights to the natures of Pachamama. In my country, Colombia, has been declared a Colombian Amazon as subject of rights to the judgment STC 4360 in 2018. Also, the Atrato River in 2016 as declared of subject of rights. I understand that the creation that is not enough, that these legislations or this thinking of the species and nature is not new. Is creating laws to improve the condition of animals and nature, but is not enough. But this must be compared. This could be a first step to protect the whole environment and the nature. I know this is difficult. There is economic interest, there is political interest, but we must start with something to improve the damage done to the nature by the humanity, and make legislation to protect them could be the first step. In conclusion, nature and animals will be more protected if they are graded, if they have rights guaranteed. We can start with protection rights if civil or political rights are not possible. I mean, we cannot give rights of vote or citizenship, or the opportunity of being elected an animal is not necessary, but we can give them rights of protections, rights of life. That is important. We have only one planet Earth, and our challenge from academy is to educate it for the change of concept of take a better conscience, or created a new paradigm such as biocentrism, generated change in disciplines such as economics, social science, legal, and scientific areas of knowledge for the good of the future generations of human beings, animals, and all the nature. This is important not only for the survival as human species, it is also an opportunity in the face of this crisis, and can be contribute to changing the history of the world. I'm sorry, but my English is not very well, but I'm so happy to share this proposal or this study with you, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.